We're talking about Google Ads today. So by show of hands real fast, who here is or has ran Google Ads? Google Ads, Google Ads. Nobody. Yes, maybe. Yeah. Megan, you personally, or you paid someone, or I did it. Okay. That works. Okay. Cool. Anyone else? No? Okay. We're thinking about it, or at least we want to learn about it. Okay, cool. So Google Ads, I called this Google Ads 101 for real estate. What this is going to be is basically it's going to dive into if you're thinking about running these, or if you're thinking about paying someone to run these types of ads, this will be a good overview on like how to set them up, how to run them. And then if you ever do pay or hire someone to do this, you can kind of look under the hood and see what the heck they're doing and just figure out what it is they're doing. So you know that you can kind of either have faith or not have faith in what they're doing. So that's going to be the goal for today. So Google Ads for Real Estate Agents 101. So what we're going to talk about is a few things, and it's going to go through it all here. But before we do, pretty much know all of you already, but I'm Jared, Chicago Title, sales rep, teach a ton of classes, events, and today we're doing Google Ads. And we do a ton of classes. How many have we done in here so far, Courtney? Quite a few. Quite a few. 4 or 5. There's a weird line on my screen here. I don't know why. What the heck did I do? Oh, for real? Yeah. Oh, that's funny. All right. How do I get rid of that thing real quick? Let's see. I haven't done that before. Did I do it? Command Z. We got a little, oh, here's a little eraser. Okay, here we go. Look at that. We're learning things. Is this it? Oh, boom, done. We're back. All right, cool. We'll sidetrack here, close this. So today we're talking about Google Ads, ton of different classes here. We've done most of these AI, video, social media. Have we done video? I don't know if we've done video in here yet. It's been a minute. I'm doing another video workshop tomorrow over in Cherry Creek, where we're going to create content, show up, film content. And in the past, I've done it where you edit videos. And I think some agents like to do that. And then some agents realize after doing that they don't want to do it. And so tomorrow, we're going to do a little class where you'll actually create content. And then I've got a video editor overseas that I'll be sharing with everyone. And we're going to basically upload it to Fiverr.com and send it to my guy. And then he's going to edit all the videos for us. So one last step. Okay. At the end of the day, I work for Chicago Title. So would love to work with you all. If you ever have any upcoming listings or need help on the title escrow side, we'd love to work with you, help you with your business. And of course, we have to do a great job there. And then beyond that, I get to help you with other things like Google Ads. So diving into things, we're going to roll through the class like this on Google Ads, introduction to Google Ads, why they matter, how they're different than maybe Facebook, Instagram ads, if we've talked about those in previous classes. The key components of a Google ad, like what makes up an ad campaign, how does it all work, how do you do them, how do you set up your first one, some advice, some tips so you don't have Google like basically steal all of your money and waste it, because all these platforms love to do that. And then any questions you all have along the way, we can kind of dive into, okay? So why Google Ads matter for real estate. Meta ads, who's running the meta ads? Anyone? Yeah, of course. Megan, we've set yours up a few times too. Yeah, that's right. Okay. We can help you. Okay. So
back in order.
That's right. We'll get you back in order.
Yeah.
So Google Ads, you can reach a highly targeted audience. They're more targeted than Facebook ads. The thing I say when it comes to like housing, real estate related ads for Google, we can kind of do what Facebook used to do. I kind of say Google ads are what Facebook ads were like 7-8 years ago, back before they got restricted. You can target a much smaller area. You can target very specific audiences of people for real estate, and they can effectively be cheaper as well. And I know meta ads can be cheap too, but these can be even cheaper if you structure them the right way. So breaking it down, Google ads versus Facebook, Instagram ads, aka meta ads. I think like overall, if we were to compare them for different reasons, like if we're just trying to talk about cost, I think certain types of Google ads, such as like certain types of ads we'll talk about when it comes to video content, they're significantly very, very inexpensive to do. They're very high intent for lead generation. For example, like PPC, that word gets thrown around a lot. PPC, which stands for pay per click ad campaigns. Those are kind of where the money's worth when it comes to like really trying to generate leads through Google Ads. Okay, someone searches something online and right, best real estate agent in whatever, Sloan's Lake, boom, right? You control that first keyword search term. They click on it, right? They probably have intent. They're searching for someone, right? They click on it, fill out a form, or call you. People usually have intent when they're doing that. Versus say like Facebook ads, right? Facebook, Instagram ads. You're going to run those. You're going to set a budget. Facebook, Instagram's going to spend all of that budget. And traditionally, these types of ads, you can generate leads significantly at a much lower cost if you know what you're doing. But what we found is that they take a lot more time to nurture. Like they're not usually ready. There's a lot more bogus information. Like they're not, it's like a lot of just kind of crap leads that you have to work through. So you can get them at a lower cost. So you get a lot more higher volume of them. But usually you're going to have to really work them. Okay. So that's kind of the main difference. Google ads typically budget. If you're going to try to generate leads, you want to spend more amount of money because your cost per lead is typically going to be higher if you kind of have everything set up properly, but usually they're going to be higher intent. So like me personally, like if I was to just spend money on lead generation, I'd probably go the Google ads route because time is money and I don't want to spend time calling 100 leads and having, only 1% of them convert versus a couple Google ads and have them cost more. Okay. Now on both of these, that's kind of like the lead gen, cold audience targeting side. The other side of this is like, let's just do brand awareness. I think like if you want to be 100% dialed in, you should be running targeted brand awareness ads on Meta as well as Google. Okay. Because they're both, you can run very, very cheap, as low as $1 per day on Meta or Google. And you can do the same thing that we've talked about previously, where you can upload a list of contact info, right? So think phone numbers and or email addresses of your database, your sphere, right? Even your farm area. You can upload these to either Google or Meta, and you can run ads to these people at a very, very, very low cost. So we're going to talk about that too here in a little bit. All right. That's kind of the breakdown overall on lead generation, brand awareness, etc. Right. So again, kind of following up on this, right? Facebook ads, Meta ads for lead gen. Less expensive, visual advertising, fantastic, database marketing with custom audiences, but there's usually lower buyer intent, okay? And that's kind of the overall thing. The other thing I want to point out too, right, is Meta ads, when you set these up on Facebook and or Instagram, is no matter what, when you throw, say, I got a $10 a day budget or a $100 budget, Meta is going to spend every penny of your budget. They're going to spend it all no matter what, and you have no idea what your results are. Versus with Google ads, certain types of ad campaigns you set up, like pay-per-click, PPC, right? You're saying, hey, Google, put your money where your mouth is, and you're only going to get charged per click, right? So you can still set a cap on like, hey, I only want to spend up to this amount, but in theory, right, you're only going to pay to play when someone clicks on that. Okay, so that's the difference. Google ads following up, all right, higher buyer intent, highly targeted based on keyword phrases, more expensive, higher learning curve. I think higher learning curve is debatable. What you'll find if you've seen I've shown some of you the back end of Meta, Google's kind of the same process. Really, when you're running really a Google ad or a Meta ad, there's really 3 layers to it, right? There's the campaign goal, like what's your goal? What do you want to do? Second is like, where do you want to run your ad? How much money do you want to spend? And then the third is like, what's your ad going to be? That's really the structure of both these platforms. If you kind of just break it down as a whole, that's how these all work. Okay. So types of Google ads, here we go. Okay. So when you first say, hey, I want to create an ad, right? You're going to click like the plus button on Google ads at ads.google.com, and this is going to pop up. It's going to say, hey, what kind of campaign do you want to run, right? You can do a search campaign. You can do a performance max, demand gen, display, shopping, video, app. For the purpose of today, we're going to talk about a few of these. We're going to talk about search. We're going to talk about display. We're talking about video. And then I think we're going to talk about performance max too, because I've been running those lately. And those are interesting to talk about. So we'll kind of share a little bit about each of these. So search campaigns, right? This is going to be text-based ads. That's the PPC, pay-per-click type ads, where you're going to pop up first. So an example could be over here, right? I type in best realtor in Denver. Who's going to own that keyword and pop up when I type that in? And it will say sponsored above that, right? And there could be multiple ones. Ideal for targeting users actively searching for specific words, all that information. And how it works, like I said before, is you're going to bid on that keyword and those keywords that you believe are relevant to your business. So again, you have to get in the mindset of who am I targeting? Who's my avatar, right? Buyers, sellers, investors, what keywords do I want to dominate and take over and spend money on. Display campaigns. So these are fun to do. So the way I always share what a display campaign is you ever purchase something online, you put it in your shopping cart, and then you never purchase it, and then like it follows you around the internet, right? So display campaigns, what they are is basically Google's got a network of over 35 million websites, so to speak, right? Locations where essentially all these different websites have said, hey, if you want, you could run ads on my website. So display ads, think of like the simplest form. They could be a banner ad. They could be on the side of a web page or at the top of a web page, right? That could be your ad up there. And what's nice is you've got access through Google of over 35 million locations. So like, doesn't matter if like Megan is going to certain websites or Courtney's going to other websites, like chances are they're still going to be opted in with Google, and you can still show your ad to Megan or Courtney because of that large scale network. And these are very low cost, again, like top of mind, great brand awareness, stay in front of people types of ads, in my opinion. Video campaigns, my favorite one is video campaigns. As you all know, I'm a big believer in video. We can leverage it so much. Also, these types of campaigns, if we set them up properly, I think they're very, very inexpensive to do. So how these work is they could appear before, during, or after on YouTube, or even the YouTube search feed, or even the YouTube Google network of partners. I personally like to run these specifically on Google, through YouTube. And the reason why is I feel like if we break down social media platforms, let's say Facebook, Instagram, TikTok versus say YouTube, if someone's going to YouTube, right, they're on probably maybe their computer, they probably have high intent and they're going there to search something and actually spend time watching it and learning about it, right, and looking at it. Versus, right, we're scrolling on social, it's a quick few seconds maybe, and then we'll move on to the next thing. So what's nice about these types of ads is if we can put our ads in front of the right person with the right intent, again, I would like to believe that's probably someone with a higher intent who's maybe looking to buy or sell because they are on YouTube probably looking things up on like, how do I sell my home this spring? Or, what do I need to know before I buy a home? And we can target these types of people and stay in front of them. Okay, types of video ads. We'll break these down. Video ads, right? For Google, we could do skippable in-stream ads. So these types of ads are going to play before, during, or after videos. Viewers can skip these after a few seconds. I love these. We'll talk about these more in a moment. Then there's non-skippable in-stream ads. So these could actually play up to 20 seconds with no skip option, right? You're on YouTube. It plays for 20 seconds. You got to watch the darn thing before you can continue onto your video. There's in-feed ads, right? These promote videos on YouTube's homepage, search results, video feeds. There's bumper ads, right? These are going to be, again, non-skippable, at least 6 seconds max at the start of the videos. And there's also those outstream, which is just towards the end. So there's lots of different types of ads. The ones that I like, though, are skippable in-stream ads, which we'll talk about a little bit. These are what they could look like if you're on YouTube or on your phone, right? Because we can, of course, go to YouTube through the YouTube app on our devices or through our computer or even on our TV. Examples. So here we go, right? Skippable in-stream. Videos under 3 minutes, right? In feed could be no max video length. Non-skippable in-stream is max 15 to 20 seconds, and then bumpers are max 6 seconds. Okay. My favorite video ad, once again, I love skippable in-stream ads on YouTube. Okay. So these played before, during, or after other videos. And it's that video, right? You pull up a YouTube video. They're very common. You got to watch it for 5 seconds before the user has the option to skip the ad. Why I love this type of video ad specifically, this placement, is because in order for this to count as a view, according to Google, the user must engage and watch the ad for at least 30 seconds until the end of the ad if it's less than 30 seconds. So what that means for you as the advertiser is, hey, if I put an ad, if you put an ad in front of me and I click skip after 5 seconds, it doesn't cost you any money at all. Okay. So if you can take your video, right, and you're trying to target maybe someone who's looking to sell their home, and you can get your message across in the first 5 seconds, or at least your brand across in the first 5 seconds, it's just free advertising. It doesn't cost you any money, right? Not unless I watch it for 30 seconds or longer, does it actually charge you. So these are hands down incredibly inexpensive to do and very cheap.
So if let's say they're watching your video and then like 10 seconds in, they go to like, let's say your profile, Does that count?
Nope.
Or they
Not unless they click on it. They click on it and then go, that's it.
if they click on your profile, it goes to your profile.
Yeah, like if this ad pops up and they click boom here or really anything outside of the skip, then it will count, right? But if they just skip or don't watch it for less than 30 seconds, it doesn't count. So reiterating this, cost effective, brand visibility, in-stream ads, these are very, very effective, very, very cheap to do. Okay, so moving on, Google Ads for real estate. One thing we have to talk about when it comes to running Google Ads for real estate from the housing perspective is what can we do and what can we do? And some things differ on Meta on what we can do and can't do. What's up, guys? How we doing? Welcome. Come on in. Google Ads, what's up? How we doing? Did you go up to the 6th floor?
No.
Okay. Okay. You're good. Welcome. It's all right. We like closings, especially with Chicago Title.
Yeah. Good job.
Thank you. Google Ads, catching you all up to speed. We're just kind of diving into like what they are, how they work, pros, cons, all that. You all just came in on a great time because now we're going to talk about Google Ads for real estate and restrictions. Let's talk about what you can do with a Google ad versus, say, a Meta ad on Facebook, Instagram. Google Ads, you can do way more stuff, and you can target much, much more specifically to people when it comes to housing, real estate related ads. So all you need to know is this: is Google prohibits targeting ads based on age, gender, parental status, marital status, or zip codes. Keyword zip codes. Okay. What's interesting though is you can't target a whole zip code for whatever reason, but you can target a 1 mile radius, which is much smaller usually than a zip code. All right. And you can also target privacy safe neighborhoods. So Google, I don't know how they decided this, but there are certain neighborhoods that you can actually very, very micro target into that they have considered privacy safe that you're allowed to run ads to, which I'll show you here in a moment. Keyword eligibility, keywords with low search volume may not be eligible to show, right? So this could be because the keyword is too specific, unusual, or not relevant to people's searches. We're not going to get too deep into keywords today, but just something to know about. So check this out, Google Ads for real estate versus Meta, right? So again, Meta ads versus Google Ads. Meta ads, if you run any housing related ad, it's got to be at least a 15-mile radius. Versus with Google, you can do either a 1 mile radius or privacy safe area, which could be even smaller than that, which is, I think, incredibly powerful for anyone who's trying to stay in front of an area, such as a farming area or your neighborhood, etc. And you can just basically hammer these neighborhoods at a very, very low cost, as little as $1 per day. But wait, there's more. My favorite part. I know I've been preaching about this for like 6 years for Facebook and Instagram ads. And I've just started preaching about this now this year for Google Ads because I finally figured out how to do it all. Is that everything I've talked about with Meta ads, where we upload phone numbers, emails, we target people based off of their contact info. You can do the same thing with Google Ads. Okay. For the longest time, Google had restrictions on allowing us to do that. And what that meant was if you ran Google Ads, you had to spend at least $50,000 in advertising spend and have like a perfectly, approved account before they let you do this. However long ago they went away with this, they said you no longer have to do this anymore. And they're basically giving access to a majority of people who have, accounts in good standing, and they're spending a little bit of money on ads. So what? They're dumb question.
So I swear somebody called me all the time.
Okay.
They wanted to kind of tell me we can help you with your Google Ads.
Okay.
I think it's spam.
Probably.
Okay. I'm like, why?
Probably, or no, it could be, it could be a legitimate marketing company, but the question is, right? Can you trust them?
It's always attached to Google Ads. So I don't know.
Google Ads, if you set them up right and you know how to do them and you want to generate leads, I know real estate agents who are spending a lot of money, but they're closing deals, but the hard part is vetting the companies that actually know what they're doing. So here's my advice to you. Like if you're ever going to hire a marketing company, right, you're taking this, you're like, I'm never going to do this. I don't want to do it. I'll pay for someone else to do it. I want to go down this route and pay for lead gen. The questions I would always ask the marketing companies, like, first of all, show me some like past results. Like, can I talk to past clients, past real estate agents specifically that are actively doing this and converting leads, right? I'd also ask them, what's your definition of a lead? Because that word lead gets thrown around so often, right? I could generate you $3 leads on Facebook, phones, emails, and names, but it doesn't mean they want to talk to you. It doesn't mean they want to buy or sell. Half the time it's bogus information. So I just be very clear with what the word lead means. And realistically, if I could pay a marketing company, I would pay a marketing company per appointment. If they could say, hey, we'll get you all the way to the process where you have a booked appointment and we can put it on your calendar, I would pay much more money for that, because that's worth much more money to me, because I know my time is valuable and I don't want to spend it all day long just calling bogus leads. So if you do hire someone, I'd go that direction. Noted. Okay. So customer list, back to this, right? Boom, we all can do it now. My best recommendation for you, if you want to test this out, is just create your Google Ads account, which we'll share a couple slides here in a moment. Just get the thing up and running, okay? I created mine, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. And for the longest time, I was just running $1-a-day ads. Same thing on Meta, right? And right, we can hit phones, we can hit emails. Those are going to be the primary categories, as well as first name, last name, country, zip code, and upload all of that data. So this is kind of like granular slide on what does this look like when you go into the Google Ads platform. There's a section where you can actually upload this customer list, which I just am so excited about, because this means now I can hit people with Meta ads, with Google ads, and essentially just dominate from a brand awareness standpoint. So when we go back here, we're going to upload our file, right? Kind of similar process. So when we do this for Meta, right, we're going to have it in a spreadsheet, a CSV file, something that looks like this: first name, last name, phone numbers, emails, right? As much data as we can provide per person, upload this data and try to find them. Important, what we need to know here, Google, though, is much more restrictive when we upload this type of list. So what that means is you need to have, if you upload a list, you need to have at least 1,000 active Google users match in order for it to be usable in a campaign. So what that means for you, like roughly, if I had a list, I would hope that that list is well over 1,000 people, which of course is a big list, knowing that not everyone's going to match, right? Like let's just pretend maybe, let's just make up a number, only 50% might match. And that means I need to have at least 2,000 people in this spreadsheet that I upload, knowing that half of them probably won't match. That way I can get it by Google and I can run ads to them. Okay. So think database, past clients, farming, neighborhood, past leads, like all those people, put them into a spreadsheet. If you need more people, I can help you. We need some more people. Okay, so next up, users with an active Google account, right? And then they can match, right? Gmail is, of course, always a great option, as well as other ways as well. So what does this look like when you have this uploaded? It typically takes about 48 hours. So boom, you upload it, and it will say something like, hey, Megan, cool, circle back here later, which is usually about at least 2-3 days. And then it will give you results as to go through all of it. And what's nice is once it does that, it will then start to say, here's your match rate. So just give you like a rough idea on match rate. I uploaded anyone who did one more deals in the MLS in 2024, which is I think about 8,000 people, and it matched about half of them. So look at that, right? And it shows you the types of ad campaigns that can hit and reach these people based off of different campaigns, right? So a search campaign, 4,500 people. YouTube campaign, 4,200. Display, 4.3. Gmail, right? We can leverage different types of campaigns and hit them, and it tells us what we're eligible for. But remember, keynote is at least 1,000 need to match. Okay, I didn't bring my handouts today. I'm going to give you guys access to everything. So if you want an in-depth tutorial on how to do that, I'll send this to you. You can click on it and watch it. Okay, setting up your Google Ads account. How the heck do we do this? Simplest way, just go to ads.google.com. You all have a Gmail account. You can just sign in through your Gmail account. It's going to bring you in. If you haven't ran a Google ad before, they are always offering promotional credits. You can see like there's an ad credit right here. For the longest time, like it's usually just, you just have to match whatever they, the bonus is. So like I signed up, it was like spend 500 in so many days. We'll give you $500 of ad spend, right? So just make sure you grab your free Google ad credit when you sign up and use it. Get some free money out of it. Straightforward stuff, right? Fill in your info, right? Fill in your business name, go spend time, fill all this information out. What's your goals, right? And then go ahead and move on past this until you get to this screen. What it tries to opt you into doing is immediately setting up a Google ad, which is kind of annoying. And it tries to put bumpers on and control like what you can and can't do, what I recommend you do is you'll get to a slide that looks something like this, and they make it very hard to find. But I would just go ahead and click, I'm not ready for a campaign, skip the campaign creation process. Or if there's an option, depends on what you have pop up, choose expert mode so it stops trying to put bumpers on what you can and can't do, because it's kind of annoying. Now, here's something that's important when you're setting up Google Ads versus Meta Ads is your call to action and how that works, right? Whether we're doing lead generation or brand awareness ads, it's different. So what I mean by that is if you run ads on Facebook or Instagram, you can set up lead forms, right? Like you've probably seen it before. You see an ad, you're interested, lead form pops up, you fill in your name, email, info, all that, boom, cool. Only a few types of Google ads have a lead form component to it. Most of them, how they operate is when you run an ad, they're going to click on that ad and it's going to take them to some sort of website you set up, right? Your landing page, right? And this landing page ideally would hopefully maybe have that information that you want to provide, as well as some sort of form that you would create providing name, email, phone. So there's more legwork for you with Google Ads. I think that's also why less people do it, because either you need to know how to design that landing page or pay someone to do it or have your company do it for you and set it up properly, okay? That's the main key component. The other main key component with Google Ads versus Meta Ads is if you're running any type of video ads, right, through Google, even more specifically on YouTube, you have to have a YouTube channel and you have to have your YouTube video uploaded to that YouTube channel in order to select it and run an ad using that YouTube video, okay? So a few more steps you got to jump through to get there, okay? So let's run some Google Ads. Here we go. So examples, right? If I'm going to run a Google ad, first step, anything with YouTube, we got to have a YouTube channel, we got to have our video on there. If I'm not going to run any sort of video ads, fine. We still need to have some sort of website that we're going to run and push them to. One example, I was chatting with an agent last week, was HomeBot. We could set up a HomeBot landing page and drive them to HomeBot, get them on a home valuation, get them on a monthly email. That's a quick and easy solution to set up and run something because HomeBot can do this for you, right? So home valuation landing page, or at the very least, a landing page that captures contact info, right? If you have a website, cool, you can do it through your website. You could do HomeBot. Another example is like MailChimp. You can set up a free MailChimp account and you can quickly create a little landing page through MailChimp, completely free to do, very plug and play. So there are easy options out there for you. YouTube video ads. Okay, so now kind of getting into this topic, this is important just to cover this. If you do want to run any sort of YouTube video ads, one thing we got to be careful with is if you're actually actively using and have a YouTube channel and you're growing it and you're putting content out there organically with the goal of trying to create organic leads out of your YouTube channel, one thing you have to be very, very careful with is as you create YouTube content and put on your YouTube channel, we don't want to choose any sort of YouTube video that is already on your channel that is like organically growing and gaining traction and engagement and getting views. Because what can happen is if you choose that specific video and run it as an ad, it could indirectly affect your organic performance of your YouTube video growth and basically just crush the growth of it. And the reason why is, well, if we run it as an ad and we put it in front of people and they're trying to skip by it, they don't want to watch it, etc., that will affect the watch time of the video, which will then tell Google, hey, people are clicking past this, they're not watching it, right? And it will basically destroy all the organic reach it could have. So when you're setting up these video ads, it's best to choose videos that we have specific intent for that are going to be ran as ads specifically, okay? All right, dominate your competition with these 3 YouTube video ads. Let's go. So we could do anything, right? Just listed video ad campaign. Now here's another way of like, 1, we could try to get leads. 2, we can also just now have one more kind of tool in our tool belt when we go into that listing presentation and share on why they should choose us, right? We can run ads and hit thousands and thousands of specific people that we want to target. And we can share that with the home seller. Hey, we're going to run Google ads and we're going to hit all these people that we believe could be potential buyers for our home, okay? Home valuation video ad campaign, right? If we're trying to get seller leads, right? More people in our database, we can run those. Or even local market update video ad campaign. So this could be perfect. Again, it could be for brand awareness. It could also be for, right, you're farming a specific neighborhood and you just want to be the go-to real estate agent. They're getting your mailers, they're coming to your events, they're seeing your Facebook ads, they're seeing you on Google. They just basically, it's all these different touches that I think build, and build. So for example, if we were going to run a YouTube video ad, let's say for just listed home in a neighborhood, right? The house isn't selling. Maybe we want to appease the seller. Maybe it's part of our marketing plan when we go in that listing presentation. Hey, we're going to do this. We're going to reach X number of people, right? Which is very, very inexpensive to do from a certain standpoint of advertising. And we're going to hit maybe a specific 1 mile radius or neighborhood and really hammer that ad out. So how do we do this? Okay, so when you log into like any sort of Google Ads campaign, right? You're going to see this screen. This is kind of the new layout that they have updated the last couple months. But top left, boom, you're going to look for that plus create button. This is how we run any sort of Google ad. Okay, we're going to click that. When we click that, okay, similar slide to maybe what you saw earlier is what's your campaign objective, right? And like I said before, this is Google ads are the same structure to Facebook, Instagram ads. What's your campaign, right? What's your goal? Who do you want to target? How much do you want to spend? And then what's your ads? The same process. Now, for the purpose of today, if you want to click the easy button, you can. Personally, I recommend choosing the bottom right option, which says create a campaign without a goals guidance, right? Basically, we're saying, hey, Google, take off the bumpers. Stop telling us what to do. Don't tell us how much money we have to spend because I think they might lead you possibly in the wrong direction. And we're just going to take control and run this thing. Okay. After you click on that, right, create a campaign without a goals guidance, the next step is what kind of campaign do you want to watch, right? So this could be those search campaigns, performance max, video, et cetera, right? Right now, we're going to talk about video. Reach viewers on YouTube and get conversions. Okay, when you click on that, it's then going to give you a ton of different options. Okay, for the sake of this class, for just getting maximum awareness and reach, I would do the first option. It will pre-selected. It's called video views. Get views and engagement from people who are more likely to consider your products or brand. You only pay when someone chooses to watch your ad. Okay, I like that. I only want to pay to play. So when we set this up, we're going to name it. Okay, we're going to go through it step by step. Now, here's kind of the secret sauce on what you need to know, really with any of these campaigns and really Meta ads or Google ads, is unfortunately they like to hide things on you and you have to click the little drop down box. So for example, like this one, multi-format ads, when you click the little drop down box, one thing that they like to have is just a lot of things selected that might maybe want to be unselected. So for example, one thing I like to unselect is if I'm not running a video ad that is vertical and it's a horizontal video, personally, I don't want to show that as a shorts ad. What's a shorts ad? YouTube shorts are vertical form videos, right? They're short clips that can appear as YouTube shorts. Basically, it's YouTube's version of competing with TikTok and Instagram Reels, etc. Right? If I'm going to run a horizontal video ad, I don't want that to pop up personally as a shorts ad, so I uncheck that box. Okay. If I had a vertical video, I would do the opposite, right? I would run specifically shorts ads. So when we're going through here, it's going to ask us what's our bid strategy, okay? And what that basically means, it's called your target cost per view, right? And Google Ads automatically, they're going to optimize the bids to help you get as many views as possible at the target cost per view you set, all right? Typically in this format, Google is going to automatically select that for you up until later. And we'll get to that in a little bit on this slide. But basically it's saying, hey, like, what am I willing to pay? What's my maximum target cost per view that I'm willing to allow Google to spend my money on, okay? And Google will try to give you that many. If you set it too low, right, it's going to be a smaller number. If you set it too high, it'll work, right? The question is does it go over budget? It will give you examples of what it believes is a good average number, which basically we just plug in just for simplicity purposes. Budget, my favorite part, $1 a day, okay? Start date, end date, don't forget that. Again, like set an end date, okay? Otherwise, Google will keep taking your money. Okay, one more big tip that I think, again, is something in the fine print that you want to pay attention to is networks. When you're running this type of ad, right? It will have selected YouTube as well as Google TV, as well as video partners on the Google Display Network. So let's break down what the heck that means, right? So YouTube, pretty straightforward. Hey, Google, show my video ads on YouTube, right? Google TV, right? Google TV Network, I'll be honest with you, I don't watch it. I'm not familiar with it. But personally, I'm like, just keep me on YouTube, right? If someone's going on YouTube, they have intent, they're searching for stuff. I want only these types of people, only focus there. Google partners, video partners on the display network. These are other partners. Again, I don't want any of that. I just know YouTube and I want people to go and see my ads through that. Okay, my favorite slide. Why I love these so much. Right here, boom. Location. Okay, so this is where we can get much more defined than meta ads, right? We can, at the very fourth option down here, we can choose enter another location. And of course, they make it difficult for us. You have to click the advanced search button. They hide it on you. Okay, but you can go in as low as 1 mile radius, or you can type in a neighborhood. Okay, so for example, like just for fun, I was like, I wonder what neighborhoods around me are considered safe with Google. Well, guess what? Like Cherry Creek, this small little area is an area you could target, right? Hilltop, this small area you can target. So if you're in a neighborhood or farming a neighborhood, I would highly recommend that you type in whatever neighborhood that is. It might appear, it might not, but just see if you could hit it. Even where your listing's at, if you want to hammer that neighborhood, type it in there because it can be a very small area. Like for example, Hilltop, like if you included everyone in Hilltop, it says 16,000 people. It doesn't cost you very much money. If you want to hammer it to every single person in Hilltop, 16,000 people, it's not very much. Okay. Important one. Another fine print thing to pay attention to is devices, right? So now it's saying, hey, we're going to run this ad on YouTube, right? But where are people? Are they on their computers, their phones, their tablets, or on their TV screens? I think all of them are good except for TV screens. Okay, so like for example, I was watching. It was super random. I was watching Blippi with my son, and Blippi's a kids show that is very good at keeping him entertained and let me kind of hang out with him. But an ad popped up for real estate agent after Blippi. I have no idea why. But maybe they're thinking, hey, parents, I guess, are watching this show. But it popped up on the TV screen, right? It was for a real estate agent, a good real estate agent here in town. And guess what? It was a good ad, but it was like, hey, click, to learn more. I'm like, well, how the hell am I going to click this thing? Right? It's on the TV. How's this even going to work? So like whoever, if it's her running those ads or some marketing company, they're doing her wrong because they're wasting money running ads on a TV screen. I can never even click it. So personally, I would uncheck TV screens because I think it's just, unless you want brand awareness, if you're trying to convert someone into a lead, I would uncheck it.
How do you feel about QR code though?
I've seen that. That's a fair argument because I've seen that too. I've seen a lot of Hulu ads.
My phone is never like right there.
It's a fair argument.
Or on social media. QR code.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Right?
Yeah.
Am I missing something?
So it's funny, right? Because some people, I've seen like people post that, like, "Hey, come to this," and there's like literally, and there's a QR code. I'm like, well, how do I scan the QR code on my phone if the QR code's on my phone? So someone actually just taught me this. You can screenshot the image on your phone and then go into your photos, and you can I think you can tap onto the QR code and then it turns it into the link. Exactly. Who's going to do that? It's like 5 steps. Melissa did it. So the question was, right, what about ads with QR codes? I think it's a debatable thought. Like again, it's subjective, right? I think all of us operate differently. For me though, like, oh man, unless you have a really compelling offer, am I going to pull out my phone and scan that thing and go to it? I don't know. It's still also an emerging thing that we're still starting to see like more and more, but not that much yet. Is it going to become more normal for us to do that? Hey, pull out your phone and do that. And then does it create that behavior where that's part of the norm and then we do it? It's a good question.
Check all those, right? On TV one with the.
You can check any ones that you want, or just go rogue. Just do TV screens with QR codes. All right, my next couple favorite slides. These are amazing because you can't do this with Facebook and Instagram ads. All right, and this is where the heck you're going to target. So there's 4 categories that I think are super cool that we can target for real estate. Right. So first one is homeowners. Right. So people who own the home or apartment they live in, but they may still have mortgages. All right. So you can target specifically homeowners. Next up is renters, right? So renters is people who are renting their home or apartment they live in, right? So if I'm a lender and I want to do a class or an event or just try to target people who are renting, and maybe my niche audience is first-time home buyers, or maybe, right, Megan is working with a real estate agent whose niche audience is first-time home buyers. They're doing a class. What's really cool about this is like she could host a class or an event in a very specific area or neighborhood that has a lot of renters in it. They could run very low cost Google ads to specifically just renters and put their class or event in front of these people and try to get them to it, right? They control the messaging. But this is really, in my opinion, I get asked that from time to time, like, how do we get in front of those renters? Renter data is very hard to get because there's so much turnover. People renting, they move, et cetera. The phones and emails are hard to get and target those people. This is pretty neat, though, that you can target them with Google Ads. Okay, next category. I love this one. So this is called, it's in the in-market segment of people that are interested in purchasing a house or a townhouse. Okay, they are interested in purchasing a house or a townhouse, and they are in the market for it. They are actively in the market. And that is who we want to target, right? Because people interested in purchasing a house or a townhouse, they could be buyers or they could be sellers, right? Because if we're looking to sell, we're probably going to be looking at where we're going to buy before we sell. So it literally could be either option. And then lastly, another great category that we can also target is life events. And it's life events and it's purchasing a home soon. So this is people who are preparing to buy a home. Okay. So if I want to run an ad, I'm trying to get leads, right? I would target purchasing a home soon. I would target people in market for houses for sale, right? And I would probably target, I could target all four of these if I wanted to, depending on how big my budget is and how many people I want to hit, right? But I love these last two categories, houses for sale in market and purchasing a home soon. And this is stuff, as you guys know, I keep repeating myself, you can't do this with Facebook and Instagram ads. Okay, quick little box, we'll leave that on. Enable audience expansion. This is where we just like Google, essentially try to find and expand our audience if appropriate to try to show more ads to who we're targeting. At the end of the day, right, these platforms do make money from us spending money on ads and they want us to be successful. Like they are trying to get us to be successful, but I think there's a balance between how much money do we have to spend, right? And what kind of results should we expect? And we're trying to find that middle ground. Okay, so last step, we've done our targeting, we've set our budget, we've decided on the type of goal, and what we want to do is what do we want to run as an ad, right? So ideally, in this example, it'd be a video ad, right? Horizontal 4K video in this example of you, right? Sharing something, something of value, right? Encouraging that person to click, right? And ideally, you have your message hit within those first 5 seconds. That way you can get free video views, etc., right? Because not everyone's going to watch your video to its entirety, or at least for 30 seconds. Okay, so you basically how this works for any sort of video view ads, right? Is you would take that YouTube video that you have on your YouTube channel, you would copy and paste the link in here at this section, right? And then you start to fill in all the information, right? What's your call to action? What's your headline? What's your long headline? What's your description? Fastest way to do this, guys, could all use ChatGPT. I'll do it for you. Do a fantastic job. Just explain to ChatGPT what you want to do and have it fill in that info and then do it. Okay. So like in this example, I've been running this ad for a few months now. It's just, hey, are you a real estate agent? If you want to learn about real estate tools, resources, marketing ideas, get invited to upcoming classes and events, click here. They click it. It goes to my landing page, right? Pretty simple landing page where they can subscribe. All I ask for is a first name, last name, and an email, and they kind of get on my email list, and that's it. Super straightforward. Okay, here it is, the bid. So at the very end, it's going to ask you for the bid, which is what we talked about earlier, and it will give you a rough idea, right? So you can improve your campaign's potential reach and performance by using a bid of at least 6 cents as a target cost per view. That's fine. I'll spend 6 cents all day long for someone to watch my video for 30 seconds or longer. Okay, so I'll plug that in. Target CPV. Done. Click create campaign, launch this thing. It's then going to go into Google cyberspace. Make sure you're not breaking any rules, and it should launch it. And then boom, it becomes an active Google Ads campaign. Okay, so that's how we roll through that and set it all up, and then it's done. Okay, again, I'll give you guys everything from this handout. I'll follow up with y'all and send it to you. Other ideas, right? Home valuation, YouTube video ad. Why run this? Focus on seller leads. We talked about this. Drive leads to your landing page. Same steps as before, right, guys? Same everything I showed you. We're going to go through that same process. The only thing that's different is the type of ad you're going to run, and you choose who you want to target, and you do that. For anyone that really wants to dial this in, I think one thing that's really cool is if you're going to target a neighborhood, or you're working with a real estate agent, you're farming a neighborhood. I think it'd be cool to shoot a video of you in that neighborhood, somewhere recognizable in the background. And what's cool is, like, we know how this all works now. You could call out that neighborhood, right? You can target them. Hey, blank neighbors, homeowners, etc. Like, hit that in the first 5 seconds, and then share what that is that you want to share. But man, like, if I saw that, I'm like, holy cow, Megan's talking to me right now. I got to watch this video, right? Because it's so darn targeted. So understand, again, now that you can realize how specific you can be, you control, again, the narrative of what your ad is, right? You could call that out in the text and in the video and say that to those people. Okay. Again, market update video ad, you can do that style, hit your neighborhood, all that, same process. Video discovery ads, we'll cover those in the final section. What I want to do now, that's kind of through the slide deck, but I just want to get you kind of a quick overview on what this looks like. So ads.google.com, here we are. When I sign in, right, I'm going to see some stuff. Once you start running some ads, you'll start to see some results, right? Within the Google Ads campaign, there's tons of stuff. It's overwhelming at first, right? But really, when we break it down, the Create Plus button is right here, and we can create our Google Ad campaign from the beginning like we did before. Down here, we can look at our campaigns. We can have all sorts of details on the campaigns, the ad groups, the ads within those campaigns. But keeping it kind of high level here, a lot of this stuff we're not going to talk about today. All you got to know is click this button to run an ad. Okay. If you're running multiple ads or campaigns, you can come over here and you can click on the type of campaign. Okay. One great other campaign that I think is a great, like, easy button catch all for you all is a Performance Max campaign. Okay. And what that means, like, if I click over here, click add, click create campaign. Again, I'll click create a campaign without a guidance, and I'll scroll down, and right here is a Performance Max campaign. And what Google defines that as is reach audiences across all of Google with a single campaign. It's the easy button. It's like, hey, take all the campaigns, take all my stuff, photos, videos, whatever, create ads for me, and then just push it out. Okay. And that's an easy button option that you could just run these continuously as low as $1 a day to all your people, right? So I can click Performance Max. I can start to film this information, right? What's my goal? Get people to a website, right? Maybe get them to subscribe. Right? Let me plug in, my website here. Boom, click continue. And again, we're just going to go through that same process that we've talked about of setting these up and targeting these people. Okay. So we can start a new campaign, fill this information in, but same process. And when we get to the very end of this, what will happen, they make this super easy, is that you can do a few things. You can either upload, like, your own photos and videos and have it create ads for you. You can have pre-created ads, but what's nice is Google, you can also just copy and paste in, like, web links to, like, your website or your social media pages, and it will automatically pull in content from those different pages and start to build ads for you. And then it's like using AI, and it's running like split tests and automatically figuring out, like, which ads are performing best that it's building for you. So it's, like, super easy. So you do that too. How are we feeling? Super easy, right? Already done. So this is the process. You just go through it step by step. But if I were you, start small, right? Maybe you just run a very specific ad campaign. It could be a Performance Max ad campaign. It could be a video ad if you got a YouTube video, right? And just start from there and set this thing up, okay? when you create your Google Ads account, see if you have access to those custom audiences, which again, I'll follow up with you on this, but underneath this tool section right here, shared library audience manager, this is where you can upload your list of people and target them. Okay. So again, this is always like a tough balance of like, I don't want to go too deep into this stuff, but I want to share kind of a good overview on what this looks like, right? And then let's just talk about costs, right? I know I've talked about this with Meta ads. Let's talk about this with Google ads, right? So here is an ad that I've got running $3 a day, big spender, spent $275, had over almost 71,000 impressions. I'm targeting real estate people within the front range. Let's see what I'm at. 275 divided by, let's just call it 71,000. Wow. Let's just call it 70,000. 0.0039 cost per impression. So that's less than half a penny, right? I mean, that's just over a quarter penny per impression. Cheaper than Facebook ads. So that's how cheap these things are. And then look at clicks. That's the cool part too. 2.35 thousand. That's not 2.35 clicks. That's 2,350 clicks. That makes sense? So it's cheap, right? And you're seeing conversion. Like it's wild how cheap these things are. So definitely something not to sleep on. Most real estate agents are. And I think why, right? I've never seen this before. It's overwhelming. It's a lot. But step 1, create the account. Step 2, claim your credit. Get your Google Ads credit. Get some free money. Step 3 is just kind of shuffle your way through it, right? Create a campaign, right? Follow the slides. I'll send these to you. Set up your first ad. Just launch that $1 a day. Maybe just launch it for a couple days. Just see if you can get to the finish line. But I'm telling you, these things can be super effective and super inexpensive, whether it's a brand awareness standpoint or lead generation standpoint. They're pretty cool. And then lastly, if all this kind of went through one ear and out the other and you need help, I'm happy to sit down with you and help you too, okay? You know yourself and you're like, yeah, I'm not going to do this. I can help you, okay? Guys, I'll follow up with you. I'll send you the slide deck on everything that we covered. Any final questions as we kind of hit the 11 o'clock hour now?
So, do you do YouTube Shorts?